avoid this frustration, protects me from this agony. So,
by the way, it's a mechanism that all the human beings have.
Healthy people. Healthy people cheat themselves.
So it's okay if we feel like that.
Yeah. Non-healthy people don't cheat themselves. Huh? Sorry, I can't. Well, this is not, but this is another issue. Of course, let's assume, this is another issue. Let's assume you're balancing the preferred between two movies. I just took a very simple example. But of course, it can be between two movies. It's not just... You understand. But you're talking about just you go because you didn't have any conflict. But when you do have a conflict and you decide, in order to feel better, you increase the discrepancies. Then you feel better. Fine? You know what we say, cognitive resonance. He described that the fox, he wanted to come to the graveyard, but he couldn't get in, so he said, anyhow, the grapes are sour. Remember this famous cognitive? So, in order to avoid frustration, we use our imagination, etc. Okay, in this case. Now, good. Now, is it anything to do with choice, the greatness of the human being? This has got nothing to do with freedom of choice. This is something automatically. Did you see the way I described it? This is a machine. Animals can do just the same. And I would denote it by a name. I would call it to prefer, not to choose. And now we'll give a proper definition of what does it mean to prefer. Prefer means there are different options. There is no any intrinsic difference between them, just the intensity of the expected pleasure. And I choose just by preferring the highest peak. So preferring means that all of them are the same, that just the difference is in value, in the height. Okay? And I prefer the higher height. Is it clear? This is preferring. Got nothing to do with the freedom of choice. Let's go one step further. Let's assume now I include values in that. All right? Now, we should be aware of a very, very profound difference between truth and values. Values means I'd better do it. Truth is I must do it. Okay? So, for many people, let's say, is not to drive above a certain velocity, I'd better do it. This is a value. But not to cross the road, the stoplight in red is a must. Okay? For many, some people don't. But I was in Mexico. He just wanted to show me Mexico. So just he crossed the stoplight on red in front of the policeman. And he just wanted to show me why. And he stopped just beside the policeman and took a banknote and gave it to him and says, come on. And then he just went on. He just wanted to exemplify to me what does it mean Mexico. So, just in front of taking some money, give him it. So Mexico is different. But for us, usually, for us, let's say driving too fast is a value. I should not. Unless I'm really must, I'm in a big hurry. So I prefer, but I don't must, but not to cross. In red light, I feel, that this is a truth. This is a must. So let's talk about honoring my parents. To most people, this is just a value. This is not truth. I prefer to, if I can. But if I can't, and there is a limit, right? So, what happens if there are some values included in this equation? Maybe I'll give now example of combination of values and needs. Okay, listen to that. I'm a guest, and someone is offering me, my host offers me to candies, right? Some pieces of chocolate. Fine. So this is a pleasure, the intensity of the pleasure. And let's say this is the number of pieces of chocolate. So if I take just 0, so the intensity of the pleasure is 0. If I take 1, is more. But it doesn't go infinity, right? eventually I might get sick. Okay? So the pleasure goes like that. Fine. Now what about my values? Let's see about them. Now this is the intensity of values. This is a pleasure and this is values. Now I'm offered, I'd say no, this is impolite, let's say, to take none. Right? It's, let's say, it's very polite to take, to take one. It's the same politeness, let's say, to take two. A bit less, okay, to take three. Then it drops drastically to take four. And by five, I feel like, I don't know. And whatever, okay? See? So it goes like that. It's a totally different graph. So now in my mind, there are two different graphs. So what would I behave? My mind does combination. It adds this to this one. How would I do? Is this the combination would behave like that? If you add the two graphs together, it would behave something like that. And you might see that the top would, let's say, would be by around 3. Some kind of a compromise between my values and my pleasure. Because my mind tell me what would be the point where would be the utmost satisfaction. Where the satisfaction come from both sources, physical pleasure and values. Do you understand? So you still can apply the same concept, even including values. This is not the truth yet. We're talking about values. Values just give you satisfaction. And this is again just preferring, because all of them are similar, just different heights. And I combine the pleasure with the values, and I just follow the highest peak, and that's it. And I'm just a machine. So even people who act by values behave like machines. Listen to that. This is a machine. The machine gives you what kind of pleasure would I get out of different values, and it combines, and it gets a peak, follow the highest peak, and that's it. This is a machine. This concept of preferring, that's the way we build machines. Let's say now that I want to build a program by computer to invest in the stock market. Today we have to do decisions in the stock market by a split of a second to buy hundreds of millions of dollars of shares. How can you do that? You have to program it. And you have to calculate the risk, etc., like that, and he has to decide, should he sell and buy, etc. I made the problem, but the computer makes the decision. Does he choose? Not at all. He prefers. He has an equation, he has all kind of options, and he has the command, follow the option with the highest peak. Okay. I came from Israel by an airplane, and let's say the pilot wanted to get asleep, and he wants to use automatic pilot. How does he do that? There is some theoretical path that the computer has for the track. And there is a way, the machine measures itself all the time where it is. And you know that different winds, I don't control all the things all the time. So all the time there is deviation from the theoretical track. So my computer gets a command, always move to the direction of the smallest deviation between the real track and the theoretical track. So it all the time switches and moves, right? It's always a method of preferences. You know, chess programs now beat the world champion. How? You think they're smart, they're dumb, they're stupid, this computer. They don't understand anything, they don't know how to think at all. Just they're very fast, and they sketch milliards of options, and we were smart enough to give the computer way to give credit points to each position. We tell him, look, if the rock is opened, the whole line is opened, is worth so many credit points. If there is intersection between the knight and the bishop, it's worth like that, etc. And we devised all kind of interesting concepts to give credit points to different components of the game. And so now he takes every position, giving credit points, and he moves towards the direction of the highest peak. That's the way he plays chess, and he beats a world champion by this. He does not think, he doesn't choose, he just prefers. Okay, so it's frightening, our ability to prefer. We might, move in this world and never think, and never choose. And if the only way we are human beings is by choose, just imagine we never choose. Let's go to a very, very profound event. A woman is going to buy a dress. Let's analyze it. So she goes around and she looks. Right? And all the memories and associations come up. This makes me younger. This, I'd look slimmer. This is a bit too expensive. This, my husband gets mad at me, and that, and that. This reminds me, this color of a very romantic evening. Tak, tak, tak. She's not aware of all this. And there are many, many sketches, and then, blah, blah, blah. And there is this theoretical sketch is depicted in her mind. And then, chick, she has a command. Follow the iced pick. They did something very frightening. They took women, they could take care of everybody, but they took women and they showed them, they went to them and they showed them, many, many dresses. And they put some kind of instrument that would measure brain waves. And they showed them, let's say, 50 dresses and measuring all the time the brain waves. Later on they asked them, what dress did you choose? She said, and they tried to see if they can detect a certain form of brainwave that would fit, and they found it. And now the scientist says, don't tell me, I can tell you what you're going to prefer, just by following your brainwaves. It's frightening. Next. Now that we sell in the internet, it's beautiful. If you sell in the internet, you know what you can do? You project your picture, your face, and you type your measures. And then you pick different dresses and you see yourself walking in this dress. Isn't that beautiful? You know how much time it can save you? And you can see yourself from backwards, and you can see yourself walking in two different dresses at the same time. So you can compare. It's great. No? Just great. No. You want your own body. You want to choose. But now, just what would be the next stage? Which is just theoretical. Relax. I'll tell you, open your internet. I'll show you 100 dresses. Put your face, put your measures. Just watch. But put some machines that would measure your brainwaves. We'll send the dress already. It will not going to happen soon. But do you understand how frightening it is? I'm just a machine. I'm just like a donkey who has to prefer this kind of grass and this kind of grass. This is not where I am as a human being. So, if we understand that, we should really look, where is the greatness of a human being? No. You are exposed. No, in this case you are exposed to. And let's say not two, there could be 100. You don't choose. Let's say you are exposed to 100 options. 100 options. No, it's not. What is available? This is not. I didn't choose. I exposed to 100. The same thing would apply to 100. Nothing. I don't choose. Yeah, but this is not choosing. This is what I want to teach in this lesson. I started by explaining how crucial is the freedom of choice. And this is really what makes me the human being, the image of God. But unfortunately, so many processes of ours do not act through choice, but through preferring. And I have to now understand where choice comes into the picture.
So you're saying that when right now until now, the same level is the same level as an animal. Then there's no difference between like choosing between dresses.
Philosophically, of course, there is different in quality, but yes, it's the same way that I can play chess. Even chess is, in chess I just prefer. My mind is combining all kind of options and doing the highest, following the highest pick. That's all.
Can we apply that to for example, the Itzhara and the Itzhara?
Just a moment. Wait a minute. So now we should know when choice come into the picture. Only when there is truth,